Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Molchop here with Rise. We are going to be doing Game 2, and I gotta say, it's very, very enjoyable to be commentating with you again, Rise. I haven't done a dual commentary in a long time, and I've been busy, and I know you've
I love you
been
too.
busy moving around and stuff. What's that?
I love you too.
Less than 3. No, it's cool to be doing this, and what an epic series to be doing it on. Firebat Hero versus Raiden. You're right. This hair is really, really stupid. I think
He
it
needs
looks
a
bad
straw
every time
hat.
I see it too. He needs the straw hat and everything. And I gotta say, no one but Firebat Hero would have pulled that game off. And when I say that, I mean that a better player would have won long before that, and a less cool player would not have managed to pull it out in the end. So, Firebat Hero is the only combination of bad and cool that could have made that game happen. But like I said, it is a best of 3, so he's gonna have to win another game. We're gonna see if he can barely manage to pull out a win against the horrible Jaehoon once again. Um, sorry, for some reason, your joke about Raiden's teleport move popped into my mind again, and we'll see if hopefully Firebat Hero can maybe take care of things earlier and not just get recalled to crap this time. And hopefully, if he decides to set up a contain, he won't make it a little bit flimsy and lose it again. I don't know. We'll have to see. But this is a different map. This is a smaller map, so even there's no real cross positions because it's a 3-player map. The name is El Nino, by the way. And so there's going to be a little bit, perhaps, more early pressure going on. And there won't be any long distances to really make too much of a difference. Although this map is a lot like Outsider, there's a lot of bases kind of around the edges. So the air game, recalls, and that sort of thing, dropships might still come into play.
It's kind of interesting when you think about the naming conventions that the mappers use. They have the Eye of the Storm and then El Nino. I mean, it's like all weather-based stuff, man. Get over it.
Yeah,
It's
and
just a
Tornado.
map.
There's Tornado in the Pro League this season.
It's so odd, but whatever. Or you could look at El Nino as the little boy, and then all of a sudden we have a whole different aspect to looking at this map. Thinking that maybe the mappers are maybe a little creepy after all. Anyway, it looks like we're going to see a standard opening coming from Firebat Hero. He is going to just open up with a supply depot into barracks, and I would expect actually a very similar gameplay as we saw last game. Although he wasn't successful with it through and through, his tactics were sound, and it was a solid Terran push that he was doing at first, and it was succeeding. Although his stupidity,
Yeah.
or brilliance, depending on how you look at the result of the game, definitely would make you think otherwise. It really was a good play, and it was, I think, what he should have stuck with the entire time. Although he definitely should have thrown in a lot more vulture harass, considering the amount of vultures that he actually made throughout that game. But at the same time, the vultures were what won him that game in the end, both by putting mines, indestructible mines apparently, in the locations of where Jaehoon would have liked to have expanded, as well as the fact that they ended up winning the game, taking out Dragoons, an Archon, and a shit ton of probes. I don't like cursing in my commentaries, but man, this round has definitely called for it. And really, I can only hope that this game is half as exciting as last game was.
Yeah, I gotta say, by the way, I really like Firebat Hero's choice of not walling himself by putting his barracks in kind of a silly position at the bottom of the ramp instead of at the top where it would, be able to block things like the Zealot running in his base. So more Firebat Hero TVP coming in here.
Yeah, but did you notice?
And he didn't.
Jaehoon tried to put a pylon up to block the wall that was never going to exist anyway because the barracks is already built.
And then he canceled it. So, but managing somehow nicely done to micro his Marines around and kill off that Zealot. That was actually really impressive. It's pretty difficult to micro against a Zealot like that when you don't have some kind of a wall to work with. Usually you'd want your barracks next to your command center or next to your factory or something like that so you can put the Marines in between. But just with some SCVs managed to pull off, and now he's brought that barracks back up to the top. Again, really confused why he put it on bottom in the first place exactly. But with his Marines, he's going to be able to to block that Zealot from doing any further damage. He still has that probe running around in his base, I think, but two of his Marines are running after that probe, so he's going to be able to kill it off. But now he's in danger from this Dragoon coming up. He's going to be able to take on the Marines. So kind of a standard early pressure opening. He's just going to have to wait for that tank to come out, and he's going to have to make some repairs on that depot until the tank comes out, at which point he's going to be able to unless he loses the depot, which is getting close to, oh, SCV's coming at the last second, and there's the tank. So he is going to be safe after all, and safe to, looks like probably going to put down a command center is what I'm expecting next, and go for a one factory push. But is he? Oh! Jaehoon also fails at blocking scouting workers. So Firebathero is going to see what he's doing too.
This is a game going back, reminding me of like watching Zergbong play against Sky High or whatever. It's just absurdity in motion. It's kind of funny though how you think about if you look at what Jaehoon was doing when he was trying to break that wall. He literally attacked every single one of those buildings that were there rather than focus on one. I mean, we're just seeing more and more of why Jaehoon is just not really that good of a player. His Dragoon had 3 or 4 shots on the barracks. I mean, come on, that thing's got like 1,000 hit points. Why would you go after that? Why wouldn't you go after the supply depot right away? He just wasn't focused on it, obviously. So it's one of those things, though, that definitely differentiates a great player from a mediocre player. Although he is doing a good job of putting the pressure on, I think he could have been successful in breaking that wall if he had actually tried a little bit harder. Now, we're actually seeing some Reaver tech come out, and it looks like he's going to try to put some pressure on in that regard, which could be a good option here. If you look at the way that the map is laid out, it's kind of open to a large arc of attacks, and so it's going to take quite a few turrets really to defend that properly. Shuttle's already out. It looks like he's going to load it up with a couple of Zealots and that Reaver to absorb additional hits that a Dragoon could not. And we'll have to see if Jaehoon forgets about the shuttle after about three seconds of use for half of the game, or if he actually decides to attack with it this time.
Yeah, he could go either way. We saw him completely forget about his shuttle for a long time last game, and it really could have come in handy too. So it's too bad about that. Firebathero doesn't have any turrets up yet. He's got an armory. I think I just saw an armory there, so he could bring out some Goliaths to deal with shuttle play rather. And that could be really, really effective, because I was going to say that Firebathero was vulnerable to shuttle play right now, having his tanks kind of spread around and no turrets or anything like that. But he is starting to get those turrets up, and if he can get a Goliath out to chase down that shuttle as soon as it appears, it's going to shut down any kind of Reaver harassment as well. So let's see if, I don't know if he has a Goliath out yet, though. Here comes the shuttle in. He's got turrets at his natural, but he doesn't have any turrets over here, so he's going to be able to drop stuff right on top of that Reaver. Probably going to take out that tank. Yes, nicely done taking out that tank. He's going to pick his stuff back up again and try and run away. So Firebathero is in a little bit of trouble. Hopefully we're going to see a Goliath pop out. Maybe I was just joking. Maybe I didn't see an armory after all. But at the very least, he's got enough tanks around that he's going to be able to run around. Oh, the Reaver didn't drop out. I thought the tank had attacked the Reaver. The Scarab going off. Oh, that tank is badly damaged, but I think he's probably going to be able to microwave from that Zealot. But Dragoon's coming in the front at the same time, so kind of a bulldog went over here. Luckily, the Reaver does go down, and so he's going to be able to siege up his tanks on top next to that turret if he can take care of those the last couple Zealots in there. And somehow, I missed how he did it, actually, but he managed to take out a few of those Dragoons. And so the remaining Dragoons are going to have to run away here. So tragedy averted for the moment by Firebathero again. Just by the skin of his teeth, and Jaehoon looks very disappointed by his all-in attack failing. With a bunch of it was a good idea, I gotta say, going in with the Reaver, the Zealots, the Dragoons in front. Normally a very, very good tactic, and if he was Bisu, then he probably would have won with it, but did not quite manage to pull it off. And now Firebathero, he did have an armory, I was right, so I don't know why he didn't make a Goliath there, but now going into a macro mode, it looks like, getting a second armory and a facility down. And getting his upgrades going as well. And looks like he might be thinking about taking a third base. Yeah, he's going to take a third base too, while Jaehoon is looking to do the same, I think, along the left side.
Well, you know, one of the things that Firebat Hero actually had to his advantage was he had a decent amount of tanks, really, and because of that, I think he was able to
True.
defend against the Dragoon side, a lot easier than he would have been otherwise. And the thing is, Jaehoon didn't do enough damage to either the tank line or the economy.
지금 그러니까 제가 볼 때는 이선 선수가 내가 유리한데 내가 이거 몰아치면 1경기처럼 또 나올지
Uh-oh.
몰라. 뭐 이런 생각하는 거고 그냥 확실히 이기려고 커맨드를 떡
Rise, you there?
하시는 것 같습니다.
그럴 수도 있겠군요.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I could. I thought you would. I thought you would stop transmitting or something because it sounded like you cut off mid-sentence.
Oh, my bad. Anyway, well then I don't know what I was talking about, but it looks like Firebat Hero, I think, went for a hard counter to this shuttle, though. He was making a starport, and really, if he makes a Wraith, this shuttle harassment isn't going to do much of anything at this point. So, really, I'm actually surprised that Jaehoon decided to stick with this, because he saw the starport going down. He actually flew his shuttle directly over it, and now he's going to go for an attack over here of some sort, but he's going right between two turrets. That shuttle goes down. It looks like the Reaver's going to drop, but I don't think it's going to take out any SCVs. Oh, it managed to take out a couple, but that was not nearly enough damage as it had to do. And he's not going to be able to take out the command center. All he's got to do is lift it off, and it'll be fine. And 3 tanks are going to go take out this stranded Reaver, escorted by a single Dragoon. So really, Jaehoon, again, losing way too much here at this point, and he's got to be more careful than this. But Firebat Hero actually microing a little bit poorly there, taking a little bit too much damage. I think he could have done that without losing as many units as he did, but nonetheless, he cleaned it up, and no real damage was done to his economy, with the exception of a little bit of mining time. So, at this point, Jaehoon is in a lot of trouble. He's wasted 2 Reavers, 2 shuttles, and an entire ground force early on. And I just don't know if he's got what it takes, as Firebat Hero is quite seriously macroing up at this point with 8 factories, probably pumping mostly vultures and tanks once again, with a couple of Goliaths sprinkled in for shuttle defense. But I just don't think that Jaehoon has what it takes to weather any attacks coming back from Firebat Hero in return.
Yeah, it looks like Firebat Hero knows he has a major advantage here, and he's just gonna drive it home. He's got 3 bases. Jaehoon has 2, so he's just planted down a ton of factories. It looks like he had 8 factories, I think, 2 with machine shops, and he's just gonna kind of go from there and just power up a large force, and maybe do an upgrade timing or something like that, and then just go out and stomp on Jaehoon. Actually, Jaehoon does have a 3rd base. I'm sorry, I didn't notice that earlier there. Jaehoon, however, has teched up pretty well. I saw in archives. I think he's got arbiters coming. So arbiters were the bane of Firebat Hero's existence last time. This time, however, it looks like he's going to have more Goliaths mixed into his army, and so he's going to be a lot better off to deal with those. And another shuttle coming out here for Jaehoon, I think, with Dark Templar in it this time. Shouldn't be too effective. I mean, he's got plenty of Comstat around. He's got plenty of forces around. I don't think this is going to be able to do too much damage to Firebat Hero. He's got a lot of vultures in the front of his base and everything like that. And actually, here's a single Dark Templar running around in the field. It looks like Firebat Hero might be moving out. He might be doing a push, or he might actually just be moving to take a 4th base. And Jaehoon's going after this base on the right with that shuttle. But he's going to have to worry about this push from Firebat Hero instead. Oh, the Reaver there's actually a Reaver in it. And SCV in the gap blocks the Scarab from getting into his mineral line. So Firebat Hero is once again going to be able to set up a nice little siege right outside of Jaehoon's base. And oh, he's going to slaughter so many probes with that. Oh, actually the Scarab gets around the right side as well. It looks like he's going to suicide the shuttle in there to get the Reaver in closer. Takes out a few SCVs and a tank, but I think Firebat Hero still has the advantage here because he's going to be able to take out a base.
I agree completely. I mean, there's just not enough damage being done to Firebat Hero in return for what he's done to Jaehoon throughout this game. He continues to have his way with him, and if all goes well, he'll do it on stage in the form of a dance after this game. And I can't really believe it that Firebat Hero is actually coming back after his sorry display for a pro gamer's game last game, but it looks like he is actually going to be able to do it. He is going to be able to take out Jaehoon as he continues to harass, doing this time with what he needed to do last time. Exactly what you just saw, that vulture out on the field harassing the economy, and taken out Jaehoon's forces, well, his economy to stop his forces. And really, look, Jaehoon's now in the position that FirebathEro found himself in last game. Too many units that couldn't do any damage. I mean, he's got an Arbiter and a handful or two of ground forces that just aren't going to be able to stand up to FirebathEro's +2, +1 upgraded units. Man, I mean, I didn't even realize FirebathEro's got the upgrade game going here as well. So Jaehoon is now crumbling and in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, Jaehoon actually did pretty well, I think, against that attack. He managed to take out a lot of forces. And and FirebathEro also sieged up his tanks while the Zealots were still on him before and lost an additional tank because of that. But he left his Vultures to clean that up and targeted the Dragoons. So, but Jaehoon managing to hold it off. FirebathEro needs to make sure he doesn't lose these last few tanks, though. He needs at least those few tanks as a foothold. But, they get stasis. Stasis again, you know, that's what hurt him really bad a lot last time, along with the recalls. But now he's got the Goliath there and the turret, 2 Goliaths powering down that Arbiter. So he's going to be in much better shape to deal with these forces now that they're not cloaked. However, Jaehoon's still putting up a pretty good fight here, but FirebathEro rallying all 8 or so of his factories to the front here. He is determined to push this home. Jaehoon rallying his gateways directly to the front as well. And if FirebathEro can hold off a little bit longer until those forces wake up from their stasis, when they wake up, he's going to be in really good shape. They're going to start just pummeling those Dragoons, and he'll have, I guess, re-established a really nice hold on Jaehoon's front. And there they are. So now he's going to have several tanks and some Vultures to boot. Jaehoon with only 8 Zealots now, and now a Vessel is in play, something he could have used last game as well. So he's going to be in a really good position to hold this contain.
So, what do you think, Moletrap? I mean, he's going to go play against one of your favorite players at this point, it looks like, anyway. I really just don't see Jaehoon getting back into this game. And
yeah.
Clever drop, actually. You have a couple of Goliaths, as well as a tank
that
with
seals
another
it.
base. That's definitely a game ender right there. What do you think of this, though? FirebathEro going up against Zero. I'm actually very excited for this because, like you said, they're both very creative players, one via dance and one via gameplay. And so there should definitely be some entertaining games coming from it. And GG coming from Jaehoon, by the way.
GG.
But there should definitely be some entertainment moments coming up. What are your predictions going into these next games? Or what? You know what? Why don't we just save it so we have something to talk about when nothing's going on in the beginning?
All right, sounds like a plan. But GG, good to see FirebathEro advancing.
GG, yo. See you in the next game.